listening to The Brad Chandler Show.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of The Brad Chandler Show. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Brad Chandler Show. Also, check me out on YouTube. Search for me at The Brad Chandler Show. With me today, I have the guys from Sunseeker. How are we doing tonight?
Doing good.
Ooh, I'm tired, but I'm doing good.
Killing it.
Fuck this humidity shit, huh?
Oh, tell me, my Russian blood can't handle it.
Bro, I came home to my apartment yesterday. It was 82 degrees in my living room.
Yo, fuck that.
I worked all fucking day, come home, and it's 82 fucking degrees. I wake up this morning to go to work. 4:30 in the morning, my living room's 80 degrees. Fuck.
That.
That shit sucked. Well, let's not keep talking about the heat and how much it sucked waking up this morning.
We're not even far from distance. How are we talking about heat for?
Whoa. So I found you guys on Twitter. I just came across you guys, saw that you guys were from Connecticut, me being from Connecticut as well. I was just like, never heard of these guys before. Let's check them out. I follow you. I get a message that says, yo, thanks for the follow. I'm like, hey, man, got to support the Connecticut scene. And I start talking to you, Nikita, and I'm like, I know this guy. I've seen him before. I think he's played in a band that I've seen before. You were in Archaic Decapitator.
Yeah, one of the happiest years and a half of my life.
Dude, those guys are so fucking awesome. Fires in the Distance. I just had those guys on a couple episodes ago on here. Great bunch of dudes, great fucking music. But we're not here talking about them. We're here to talk about you guys. It's 2021, and you guys have an EP out. And why don't you give some? Why don't you get some of the viewers some information on what that is?
All right. Well, we're Sunseeker, brand spanking new band out of Bristol, Connecticut. Whoop whoop, represent. Yeah, just dropped our debut EP, Means to an End, back in February 4th. It really doesn't seem like it's this year. Honestly, it's kind of been a blur. But yeah, just 4 solid tracks of mellow death with a little nice, fancy instrumental interlude in the beginning, just to kind of set the mood, set the tone. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun recording it. Hope people like riffs, because mellow death for fans of riffs.
It's definitely a riff filled little 4 songs with that intro. The plot is that the intro? Yep. Because I'm showing it here as number 5 on the Spotify list.
Listen to probably.
I'm sorry. That's the list that it's listened to.
Probably.
How often it's listened to. So how long have you guys dropped in February? How long have you guys been playing together?
We officially became a band in 2019. I think that's when we made the page and went live, if you will. It was probably early 2019, I think. Because I've
somewhere around there.
We've been playing since 2018, I think, November of 2018.
Well, that was rehearsing, I guess. So I guess you could call that the genesis. I mean, if you want to go back further, it'd probably be 2018-ish when I was jamming with Rob. We were hanging out. And practicing.
It was, then I know Pat joined in after that. I was the last one to join. That was November 2018, I want to say, is when that happened.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, so we technically officially started 2017, 2018. But, we haven't been out and proud since probably when we did the whole announced our first show in 2019. So we haven't been around that long, definitely. Yeah. Especially considering all the shows we haven't been able to play.
Right. So 2019, you guys start getting shit going. 2020 comes around. Obviously, we all know what the fuck happened there.
Yeah.
And then, so when did you guys go in and start recording those?
We actually started recording.
It was January of 2020.
January 25th, 2020 was the very first day when we did
So
drums.
I'm going to start asking Jeff more of these questions because he seems to know all these answers.
I'm awful with dates, but I can write a mean riff.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I remember random little facts like this quite well.
So 2019, you guys all like start jamming and whatnot. You guys play a show in 2019?
Yeah, we had our first show with Lament at Bleachers.
Beautiful place. That's probably one of the coolest places to play in Connecticut. I remember my last band, we had our very first show there, and the sound there is just great.
For me, it was surreal because I played there with Archaic as like probably my last show with Archaic as well. No, yeah, that was my last show with Archaic, and they changed it so much from like 2016 to 2019. It was insane. I remember getting there. I'm like, I don't remember this much floor space or this good sound. It was a nice change of pace. We'll have to play back there again soon.
Another place, very well known place in Connecticut to play, as well as Cherry Street. Have you guys played there?
We were supposed to.
I'm assuming that was a 2020 show.
Yeah, March 23rd, 2020. We were supposed to have a show with. Funnily enough, we're going to have Archaic Decapitator, The Shape, us, and then our friends Solemn Vision and Gates to the Morning from New York and New Jersey, respectively. We're supposed to have that show, and I think it was like maybe 2 weeks before the show was supposed to happen.
Everything shut down.
So they were like, "Yeah, we're shutting everything down." And I go, "Well, there goes my fun lineup."
Yep.
That's.
I remember a couple bands were dropping off too, like before things officially got shut down as well. Because they were a little uncomfortable with the whole situation. So
yeah, Solemn Vision had to drop off because their guitarist couldn't make it, and then Gates of the Morning were going to do an acoustic set, and then it was just like, well, don't have to worry about that now.
God, that sucks, man. That's another fun place to play. Nice little setup, nice little stage.
Oh yeah,
Fun little bar.
Great
They
staff, great
yeah,
thing.
awesome staff. Every time I played there, I leave pretty drunk, and I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
How did I get here? What happened?
Legitimately, I was talking about this. I think on a different interview. They have such heavy hands at the bar, and I love it.
Yes, I have to.
You get what you pay for with drinks.
Oh, absolutely. Get a White Russian.
Oh, that was my go-to.
Yep.
That was my go-to. I was done after 2.
I'm such a light drinker. I'm done after 1. Are you guys drinkers? Like, do you drink when you play?
no.
Not before.
Not usually.
I usually wait till after because I want to keep my vocal cords pretty pristine for doing all the fun banter and vocals and keeping my energy up. So I'll usually keep coconut water or like regular water before the set, but afterwards if I'm not performing, I'm drinking.
I'm like one of those, like, I'll have a drink before going on stage. Like, I'm not getting drunk. I'm not getting shit-faced.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to get a buzz. I'm just, have myself a little drink, have a 30-minute, 45-minute set, and then I'll go get shit-faced.
Yeah, I can't do the one anymore. Not since I started doing the vocals.
So, you're the vocalist. Why did you start doing the vocals? Is that something that you wanted to do? You wanted to play guitar and do vocals?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it kind of worked out sort of as initially when we were starting the band, I was kind of throwing the idea around with our bass player Rob, back when we were just kind of like loosely jamming and the seeds were being planted. I was thinking like, oh, who can I get for vocals? And I had a couple people in mind, but then I was like, well, I don't know if this would work. And one of these guys is in a band, and this other guy has some issues that I don't think would be conducive to being in a more serious kind of project, because I've tried doing things with him before and it never panned out. So I think it kind of, I wanted to do it for a while. There were plans with me doing backup vocals in Archaic before I had to leave as well. So that was kind of like already in my head, but I figured, screw it. I like Arsis and I like Hypocrisy, and all those bands have the guys who do both at the same time. F it. I'll give it a shot. And boy, howdy, was it harder than I thought.
Definitely is. I tell everybody, I have the utmost respect for anybody who can not only play an instrument and do backup vocals, but play an instrument and be the lead vocalist, because you not only have to put your focus into playing your instrument, your actual, because they're both actual instruments, but
right.
in your instance, you have to be able to play the guitar at, the speed that you're playing and precision. And then you have to be able to do the vocals in the same, everything's got to be on time. And it's not as easy as a lot of people make it seem. Like, you see all these other bands out there that are just like, yep, I'm playing guitar, I'm playing bass. Some people are playing drums and singing, which is absolutely nuts in my opinion. And you're doing this, and with the extreme music that we hear from you guys and how fast you're playing, that's not easy as it is. And then you have to put the screaming and being on time with your vocals and on time with your guitars. Yeah. How long did that take for you to get used to that?
It definitely took longer than I thought. Because I used to do, I used to like that thing in high school where you'd like play guitar and do vocals like on your own to yourself to practice. So I would do that with like some couple songs I was good at. But when it came down to like writing lyrics and fitting the rhythms and writing the songs and making it all go together, that was a different story. It took me a while. I definitely remember a couple of embarrassing moments with jamming and Rob and Pat and kind of reading along with the lyrics, just not even doing the screaming, just kind of getting that rhythm down. And it was oh boy, that was a challenge. But I think I got it pretty good. I've been getting a bit better when it comes to figuring out like how, what kind of vocal pattern rhythms would work better with certain riffs and kind of fitting things together with words. It's still a challenge, especially like I have to change up my vocal style, or at least it feels like I have to alter how I do them, like mechanically, when I'm playing the guitar versus when we were tracking in the studio, if I'm just practicing on my own with just my voice. So that's another layer. And then, of course, the whole stage thing of like moving around and being entertaining. That's
having a stage presence.
Oh, yeah. And I love doing that. That's kind of the one thing I miss doing the most from when I was with Arcade, because I didn't have to do anything except for play guitar. So it was just windmills and stomps all day. But now I have to pay attention.
Now, is that something that you guys also enjoy doing? The participation and like the headbangings and not crowd participation, but putting on a show, sort of.
I think so. I think it's, if you're playing in a band and you're doing a live show or anything like that, you're a musician, obviously, but you're also a performer. So I think a lot of that is just feeling comfortable with what you're doing and stuff. I get crazy drummer faces. I'm not trying to do it, but if you're feeling comfortable and you're just letting go, listen, like next thing you know, I'm making like crazy Meshuggah faces and like sticking my tongue out and doing stupid shit. If that keeps people entertained, then we're in good shape at that point. But yeah, no, I think that's an super important part of it.
It's actually something I need to work on. Like, this is the first Sunseeker is like the first time I've playing live with a band. I was just kind of mediocre bedroom guitarist before this, so it's just like I'm still very stiff on stage just because we've only played a few shows. So I need that just more time on stage to just loosen up and get used to it. So it's just something I need to work on personally.
You got to get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
It's as a person like myself, I was I don't know if you guys ever heard of these guys, Left Hand Backwards. These guys dress up in onesies. Like, not even joking. When I was in the band, I was known as the piece of shit, so I had a shit costume, a poo onesie. And I used to like stand around a little bit, and then after a little while, like running back and forth on stage, and it took me fucking forever to get a stage presence.
You got to be the flying shit at that point, man. You got to be like crowd diving and stuff and see who's trying to catch some shit,
The biggest thing that we had between myself and the vocalist, I would wear the same onesie at every show through the summer and all that shit. So you're sweating your fucking balls off. Well, we had a thing where we were betting each other to see who could go the longest without washing our onesies.
Oh, it was just like in character for you at that point too.
We were playing at Cherry Street. It was the last time that I played in that suit, and I had somebody come up to me and was like, "Can I please wash your onesie?" And I was like, "Fucking take this thing, dude." It was fucking disgusting. I think I went 3 months and probably like 10 shows without washing it, which was fucking disgusting.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Now, Pat, when you're playing, do you do any like drums, like drum tricks or anything, or are you just a straight drummer? Like,
When
just
we're doing
fingers?
it live, no. I do it a little bit on my own, but I'm not the best at it, admittedly. So I think there's always I mean, when we're playing, I'll do stupid stuff, not necessarily like flips and crazy stuff like that, but not usually while I'm playing live. I'm pretty locked in and just want to make sure we're on point because, I mean, obviously if I mess it up, it's going to make things a lot harder for everyone else.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So you said that the EP came out in February. Are you guys working on anything? Have you guys been working on any new stuff? I mean, COVID has probably given you guys a lot of time.
No, we're actually splitting up. No, definitely.
Thanks. Now you tell us, Nikita.
That's the
And Pat
announcement.
and Jeff are just like, wait, what the fuck? This is why you brought us on here?
That is the only EP. This is the good. This is the farewell interview. No, I just finished a song. The majority like framework of a song. I sent it to the guys about a couple weeks ago. So I've definitely been working on more stuff. Work has been making it harder because I work long manufacturing hours and I want to burn down everything I see when I get to work. So I don't really get a whole lot more time nowadays with that and family obligations to write. But ideas still come. This is probably gonna be a more collaborative release from us. I feel we're gonna have, we kind of get the groove of everybody and we can start fresh with the songs. I feel this is gonna be a bit more of a back and forth when it comes to the writing. But yeah, we got stuff in the works. I mean, I've always got stuff in my head. It's just a matter of plugging it in and putting it to hard drive. But it's coming along. We definitely got
Basically putting pen to paper.
Yeah. I just gotta get back in the groove.
Have you guys been able to jam?
Oh yeah. No, we've been practicing. Like I think we did a month or two maybe.
I think it was it might have been 3, but it was only a short time where we stopped playing during like the very beginning of the pandemic, and it just got to the point where it's just like, fuck it, we're bored, we want to play. Well, you roll the dice a little bit. So it was like either that or stay home or work. So it was we figured like, okay, we can be it's not the worst situation.
We kind of figured like everyone's being safe, everyone's wearing masks. We're like, we're gonna try this out. If anyone gets if anyone finds out that they're exposed, we take a break. We've had a couple scares of people being exposed, and we did the right thing. And we've been all very lucky. And now we're all 100% shot up and vaccinated. So we're definitely
Full 5G, baby.
full 5G. Bill Gates.
Thanks,
will
Bill.
leave me alone. 5 a.m. He wakes me up like, "Hey, buddy, don't forget to update your Windows 10."
Work on the new songs, Nikita. It's just like,
I mean, that would explain why I'm up before my 5 o'clock alarm every day.
Don't write any more songs.
I'm up every fucking day at 4:30, no matter what day it is. It's fucking Saturday, fucking Sunday. I'm up at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm just like, fucking shoot me.
Yeah.
So when you write your stuff, and you're saying you send the ideas to the guys, how do you do it? Do you write everything onto the computer? Like, do you put your keyboards, your drums, your bass, and the guitars all together? Do you use like Guitar Pro?
So what I used to do is I would tab a lot of stuff out on Guitar Pro, and what I found out is that fucking sucks. It takes so long, so much trial and error. And recently, after we finally wrapped up recording, I've been talking with our producer, shout out Dave Kaminsky at Studio Wormwood, because that man is like our unofficial 5th member at this point already.
I feel like he's the unofficial 5th member for like every band he works with.
It's amazing how much insight that man has. I could do like another hour interview on how much Dave is awesome. But basically, I've been working with him more on getting like more comfortable with doing home recording stuff and like a lot of self-producing stuff, and I finally like upgraded my interface and a couple of other things for gear. So now with the newest song, I literally just kind of wrote out the ideas, recorded them into Reaper, and I just sent the idea audio to the guys before I started tabbing it to be like, do we like what this direction is? How are we feeling on these riffs and how the song's going? I have a couple like MIDI patterns for drums so I can give Pat a better idea, because Guitar Pro 7 is not user friendly when it comes to drums. Shout out GP5. And I mean, this is working a lot easier in the sense that I can spend more time just kind of woodshedding it and like messing around with ideas and recording them right away, rather than, all right, let's do this again. Let's try tabbing it out. Oh, that sounds like crap. Let me just mix of a bunch of shit, and now I'm pissed off. So definitely, this one it probably going forward is going to be me just recording stuff, a very basic like guitar, drums, and some like rudimentary bass lines initially, and sending those ideas out before I start tabbing it out for Jeff and OB to learn, and then from there I'll just kind of expand on it, add more melodies, throw in some fancy Flavor Crystal keyboards and vocals and stuff, and build it from there.
And how do you how well do you guys work? You, Nikita, and Jeff as guitarists together.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's awful.
awful. God off. I don't know why I deal with this motherfucker as
Sometimes
much
I'm
as I
just-
do. But no,
I'm talking more in the writing sense.
It's, we
That
haven't
too.
done much where we've done a lot of crazy collaboration writing because again he wrote everything for the first EP with the one exception of the Clean Part and Pilfered. I have submitted some stuff I've written in the past, but it's like my style too is more a bit more like thrashy, like Nevermore kind of styled.
Fair
So
enough.
it's like I basically worship Jeff Loomis, so it's like that's a bit more my style. So it's,
It's a
when
good
it comes
guitarist
to
to worship.
yeah. Oh, you God, yeah. So it's like when it comes to the death metal stuff, I don't have the same style as Nikita. So it's like I submitted some stuff, but it's like it needs to be Sunseekerized as we've referred to it. So it's something where it's like here's what I have, make it. It's bring in the bit more of the kind of influence we're going with. So it's still got to get a little bit of stuff. We just got to work together as I have more stuff I submit. So
So
Yeah,
bring-
I mean, it's definitely, we haven't really gotten a chance to sit down and be like, all right, let's see what we got. I know he sent me some stuff and I got to go back and refresh my mind on it. But, it's definitely, it's not like it's impossible. We definitely have a couple of
Oh, yeah.
different ideas in terms of how songs should be and like songwriting style in general. But, I don't think that at this point it's really a case of like, this is impossible to work with, get out. I think it's a matter of we can probably compromise. Like,
You're
newest
here
song-
to play the stuff that I write. I don't want to hear what you write.
Yeah,
Stop
no.
bringing this crap.
this isn't Megadeth. This isn't Megadeth. We don't have to worry about that. He's not Dave Mustaine. So.
And thankfully, Obi is not David Elfson.
Fucking right.
Topical.
Holy shit, man.
I mean, we
That
made
whole-
jokes about that for Obi, but he's like, please stop.
yeah.
Yeah, I would say the same fucking thing. Holy shit. Between him and Marilyn Manson right now, Jesus Christ.
Ooh, that Manson one, kind of unsurprising though.
Yeah, it really was. Every time he comes up on my playlist, I'm just like, skip.
It's tough because like I don't know if I don't know how many people read his book, but it's like there's this evidence of this in here. Why is anyone?
Oh hell yeah! Fucking that book came out with like 20-something years ago.
Oh yeah, and it's like this is just one example, and this is clearly like not okay, and we're okay. We're gonna ignore it for a while. All right.
And then when it came out, you had Reznor and Wes Borland, who all came out and was like, "Yep, that happened."
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, come on. Him and Reznor haven't spoken in years.
No,
Years.
they get enough attention. But now, do you guys have anything planned for 2021? Like a show or anything?
So we're trying to do a couple. We're trying to definitely get a couple more shows in before things. I feel things are going to shut down again by the time summer's over. I just have a bad gut feeling. I have no faith in this country. So we're definitely
Jesus.
we're working on getting at least a couple of shows more under the belt. I know that Pat actually is really interested in getting some shows with a couple of newer or like more up and coming Connecticut bands that we've become friends with, and I'm all for it. It's just a matter of us kind of trying to figure out the schedule and timing. And I know that we have the desire and the intent to play with Fires because I mean we all have a connection. We're all good. I mean I'm good friends with the guys since I was in high school. Going to see Engraved, and that show got shut down by cops. But we definitely have. It was a weird situation, but we have the definitely intent and desire to play with Fires at some point, and hopefully, if things go right with the way we want it to go, it's going to be a banging show. And I mean, we're always open to get back out there because we played. What was it, about a month ago now? We played in a playing field.
Just about like 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks, I think.
And like, fuck, that felt good.
Oh yeah.
Like being able to have that catharsis and see people and have just play in front of not just ourselves. It was the best.
How many people were there?
It was probably a little bit off, like 50, 60 people. It was like just before they're about to lift up the COVID restrictions, and it was the guy who booked it was Dwayne from More Than the Light. Shout out to More Than the Light. He's been doing great stuff with these outdoor shows, and it was already like a pre-sale only kind of seated arrangement thing, and he expanded it a little bit to allow for more people to show up because of the restrictions being lifted. But it was awesome.
Now, do you think with COVID being lifted, like not COVID being lifted, but the restrictions being lifted, do you think that shows that happen when they do happen are going to be like nuts?
It's gonna be weird. I've seen clips already because I know the Cellar on Treadwell put on a show with, I think it was Murder Monday and Marvel of Decay and a couple of other bands, and it looked like it was like a regular show from before COVID. And while it definitely looked like a lot of people were having fun. There was moshing, there were lights. It felt like real. I'm a cynic, so I'm kind of like, enjoy it while it lasts. But I think it's gonna be nuts because we saw a pretty good reception from when we played, and that was just being an outdoor show. Like, I don't know, what do you guys think? Because I might have a skewed opinion. And
I'm starting to see like bigger bands have stuff scheduled. I know Black Dahlia Murder just announced a tour.
Dude,
today.
holy shit!
Yeah,
My buddy
for,
just sent me a text message. It's October 8th.
October. Yeah.
Up at the Palladium.
Ginger has one scheduled, and like they had to have a tour scheduled in November. Byzantine's playing.
Oh yeah, that's right. Byzantine's playing Rhode Island.
Yeah, it's like August or something. It pisses me off because I work in a regular 9-to-5 job now, and I wouldn't be able to get to it because it's like a fucking Thursday.
Take a day off.
It's a thing. I don't have time banked up yet for it. I've been there like 8 weeks. It banks up for like by paychecks.
Take it off anyways.
Nobody beats the biz.
Do it.
My 10-year-old nephew's going to his first metal show. Granted, it's Slipknot, but we're going to. My brother and I are bringing him to go see Slipknot, who's his favorite band, which is the day after the Black Dahlia murder. And I didn't find out about the Black Dahlia murder until my buddy sent me a text message. He's like, "Hey, bro, you want to go see the Black Dahlia murder with Carnifex?" I'm like, "Yes."
Well, I think they just announced that today.
Yeah, just today.
Was it just today?
It was literally today. Yeah.
Because I'm literally like lost in that shit. Like when bands announce stuff and whatnot. But I might have to actually go to that.
Yeah, I want to see Amigo the Devil. I know he's coming by. I just got into him recently. I just
They're
hope
playing, it's also after the burial, I believe.
Yep.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, is it that? It's after the burial, and I think Rivers of Nile and Undeath.
Yes.
Which I want to see Rivers of Nile because I haven't seen them still.
I have a Dahlia tattoo across my back, so that just says that.
Nice.
I went back to Verminous today, and they're just so consistent. Every single one of their releases is good.
From Unhallowed on, it just gets better with them.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, I think my peak for them is Everblack. I think that's like my favorite one so far.
So my favorite one is always going to be Nocturnal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard not to. Oh, I don't know. Fuck.
If I go back to one, I go back to Nocturnal, but there's like ones I pick. I mean, Everblack's got a lot of really good ones.
I don't know. I tend to go back to Deflorite, actually, come to think of it.
Yeah.
Because of Ryan Knight.
Hell yeah. Arsis all day, baby. Ryan Knight all day.
I also think that what the hell is the name of their second album?
Miasma?
Miasma.
Yeah. Is it Miasma or is it Miasma?
I never know.
Who gives a fuck?
one or the other.
It's the second album. I think it's underrated.
Yeah. It's funny because that one seems to be like a big favorite with a lot of people, I've noticed. But at the same time, it's not talked about as much.
Yeah. I don't think it's talked about nearly enough. Man, it's nice to see shows are coming back. You know, people are starting to talk about this type of shit. I can't believe, like, I actually started getting into more music since COVID because I've been able to actually sit down and like look through shit like Bandcamp, just go on like, because I find a lot of the bands that I listen to through the internet, which is probably the worst tool ever for the music industry.
Yeah, I've been pretty like, because I've been the same deal. I mean, I've used Spotify for a while, and I used Amazon Music for a little bit before that, but I was usually just listening to artists. But now I'm getting a little bit more to like the Spotify playlist and looking through stuff on Bandcamp, and there's just so much good stuff. I mean, I just have like a playlist from stuff from like the end of last year into this year, and I was just kind of going on the like tangent of like, oh my gosh, there's no better time to be like a consumer of music. I mean, obviously you're always gonna, I think of like whenever I talk to somebody like, oh, music's just not as good as it used to be. It's like, you don't know where to look. If you're just online, there's just the sheer amount of stuff. Somebody's doing something that you're gonna be into, and especially for heavy metal.
I dropped about $350 in the matter of a week and a half just on music. Like looking through Bandcamp.
Yeah, I mean, I know I recently, Dave's band, Stone Healer, was really doing it. The newer Knoll album, I've been really liking. The most recent one from The Ocean. There's a lot of good stuff. Then Averst had an album recently that Nikita showed me. I've been digging that one. So much good stuff.
God, I spent too much time on Twitter, so most of the bands I find are for like mutuals on there. So it's that, and then people who are like journos that I talk to, and I see more than 3 people talking about a record on Twitter. I'm like, well, I guess I got to check this out on Bandcamp, and then I go get tattooed, and I find out Amigo the Devil is really cool, and I'm like, well, I guess I got to go check that out. It's like I've been going hard. I went into like I went from like all the weird like black metal-y stuff I could find. I've been into future funk as of like last year. I took a deep dive into Little Big last year, which was like both a blessing and a curse. I got into Eurovision this year, which was also
like a fever dream, a little big.
I just started getting into Japanese death metal.
It gets weird of the Japanese stuff though. Like some of the
their shit is it's not even death metal. It's just fucking slam.
You get they have a high like percentage of like Japanese bands basically just being slam. It's weird. It's either slam or like really intricate power metal. There's no in between.
And then I found a few bands from like Colombia that are just brutal death metal. And then like you follow them, and then they send you something, and you can't understand what they're saying, and you have to use Google Translate.
Oh yeah.
And then you try to translate back from English to what to Colombian, and they're like, I don't understand.
Yeah, the camera's all messed up, and you're just like, well, I'm just an idiot.
I have no idea what I'm saying to you, but I hope this is right.
We got like a few messages from like different pages from different countries and stuff, and then they're speaking in English, which is a second language, but they're always like so kind and so like willing to accommodate everything. It's always funny. We got shout out to LTO. LTO, they just like message us on Instagram and stuff saying they love it. So it's really cool. I mean, I think they only have 2 songs so far, but I heard this newer band Crypta, which I think is like a Brazilian.
Yeah, they're Brazilian, and it's Dutch or Swedish.
I think it's Brazilian and Dutch. Yeah, I heard there's 2 songs. Their 2 songs rip. I've been really liking.
Oh yeah, dude, songs. I can't wait for that fucking album.
Yeah,
it's gonna be so good.
There's so much good stuff now, though.
Yeah,
I've had somebody like I've had a few bands from the UK. I've had a band from Sweden. Shout out to Carmilla, and it's just so like people who only like you got the big bands, you got the people that just only listen to the Metallica, the Megadeth, Lamb of God, stuff like that, and then you got these bands that are like nobody's ever heard of, but they're just so much better or just as good. And people never hear of them, and nobody does the research.
Yeah,
it's
man.
unfortunate.
It's rough, and it's worse being that band because you're just like, "Hi guys, we have music. It's not $19.99 to buy an EP." It's like, no thanks. Oh,
exactly, and that's like I was saying earlier. My nephew just started getting into Slipknot. Granted, it's Slipknot, and that was 17 years ago for myself. But like hearing my nephew, who's 10 years old, is listening to Slipknot and he absolutely loves Lamb of God. I'm just like, there's fucking hope.
There's tons
of live show too, man. I mean, I don't listen to a whole bunch of Slipknot, but I would go to a Slipknot show. I mean, they put on a crazy show.
They killed. I saw them at Mayhem Fest, and even though that was like a pretty tame performance, they still killed it.
Yeah, and I mean, especially for like a 10-year-old to get into that kind of stuff and
Well,
like
that's
like
what I'm
that
saying.
into,
It's
that's
like
awesome.
like 20 years ago, I got into Slipknot. Then I got my brother into Slipknot. Now my brother got my nephew who's into Slipknot. And I've been sitting here like trying to find that one thing, that just one thing that I can get, I can go with my nephew and be like, hey, let's do this together. And now it's like, all right, so I'm hoping, because I'm getting him an MP3 player for his birthday. And I'm just like, I'm going to just slip in some like other bands with like, okay, here's some Slipknot. Oh, okay, here's some Lamb of God. Oh, here's Sunseeker. Throw this in here. Here's this other band.
Oh yeah, that's how you got to do it. Because I mean, there's only so much. You'd rather have them kind of be like, well, here's a couple things you might like, versus like, oh, here's an alt-right page with a bunch of NSBM. Bon appetit.
He's also into, I think it's Marshmallow.
Oh, the EDM guy.
I have no idea. I've never heard of it.
I think it's like an EDM dude, kind of like.
Yeah, Marshmallow's pretty big. I think I don't listen to Marshmallow really, but
He's the new Deadmauss.
I recognize the name at least.
Yeah.
Is that because of Fortnite? Like, that's all I can think of.
I think it was big before that, though. I could be wrong, but it's hard to. I think we're at that point now where it's like, if we're kind of out of touch at this point, we can safely assume it's through Fortnite. It's kind of funny.
I don't know, dude. I'm almost 40 years old. I've never heard of fucking Marshmallow. The only Marshmallow I ever heard of, I put over a fucking campfire.
I mean, we're at the point where it's like, if it's not Fortnite, it's TikTok. It's one or the other. There's no.
It's pretty much the same.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
And so, what are your guys' inspiration? Like, what are some bands? We've talked Dahlia, Arsis. What are some of your influences, Jeff?
Yeah, I got to go with the stereotypical one. Yeah, Metallica, it's still pretty big influence. And maybe, I don't know if you can hear the influence as much now as when I first started playing, but they're definitely there. They were like the first heavy band, one of the first heavy bands I really got into. For saying heavy band, System of a Down was the first one. I was like, this is fucking awesome. But still love them to this day. Fucking great band. As I said earlier, I worship the ground Jeff Loomis walks on, so it's like Nevermore is my all-time favorite band. Like, a lot of the stuff I've written that just wouldn't fit with Sunseeker just sounds like, Nevermore ripoff. But, them, I've gotten huge into Ginger, over the past couple of years. Byzantine is another one where I'm just huge influence. And, of course, Nikita will probably agree with this one. We can't forget good old-fashioned Devin Townsend. I mean, the dude is just fucking brilliant. Pat's there shaking his head, too. Just the dude's fucking brilliant. Like, all over the place with that he does, but it's just he's got amazing music, and it's just one of those things too where it's just like that's just good type. I think, especially in the sense that we're playing metal, where it's at least like he's metal, but he has a wide range of stuff, so it's a good influence in that regard. Because like we're not going to just have only the heavy shit influence us. We can have something a bit softer, more melodic kind of.
Yeah, I've noticed that with him. He doesn't just stick with heavy. He does.
Oh yeah.
He does some fucking pretty
all over the shop.
Pretty stuff. I would
Dude,
say.
the dude is just a brilliant musician. It's one of those things where it's like it's just at times you feel this is unfair that he is as talented as he is. Like the dude is just a fucking genius.
Now, question for you, Jeff Loomis. He's an arch enemy now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Unfortunately, did I say that?
Well,
they don't. But it's just like he's just way
him-
outclasses them as musicians.
Yeah,
It's just-
he's not even able to like write for them. Is it?
Yeah.
He's not able to write for them. They won't let
It's
him
just
write.
they
Or he
didn't
doesn't
allow
want to.
him to on the last record, from what I remembered. It was just one of those things where it's just they have a sound and he has his very like recognizable sound. It's just it doesn't mesh. Like I also look at it too. The only musician in that band that'd be able to keep up with him is their drummer. I just don't like nothing against Michael Lamé. He's a really good guitar player. I don't think he'd be able to keep up with Jeff G's even as a rhythm guitarist and the shit that Jeff would bring to the band. So it's unfortunately he doesn't write for them, but probably in the best at the same time.
I feel like it turns into arch enemy and Jeff Loomis at that point. It would just kind of take away from it.
Yeah.
Well, they could have gone with a different guitarist because he's such a big name. Like, I get it brings attention, but it's also like we expect Jeff Loomis. You don't expect Michael Amat's friend, Jeff Loomis. They could have found You could have just found a guy with like Jeff Loomis, but spelled like our Jeff's first name, so it kind of Jeff Loomis. But we don't have to worry about like expecting to hear some super ridiculous like string skipping diminished runs and stuff.
Yeah.
Jeff, what are some of your influences? Or,
Uh,
Jeff,
you
Pat,
already asked
Pat,
me that.
I'm sorry.
It'd be- yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I am.
For like, I mean, I'm
He's
big
the new
into-
Jeff.
I'm big into Mastodon. Dillinger Escape Plan is one of my all-time favorites. Between the Buried in Me, I've been big into. Like I said, I've been trying to stick to a lot of like recent stuff lately. The new Pupil Slicer, I think, was really, really cool. I'm trying to.
That album that came out literally had like no press and
Yeah.
was just like shot through the charts.
Twitter.
Yeah, they got. Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the cool thing with
Social media
now.
fucking blew that up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always go back to. I like the older Faceless stuff. Obscura. I'm big into Entheos because I really like Naveen Copperweiss as a drummer. Animals as leaders. I go into a lot of not metal stuff too, but yeah, the Keep It Metal. Those are a lot of the really big ones.
And Nikita,
No, there's a lot. I mean, like I said, the biggest one probably would be Arsis in terms of like energy and overall feel
right?
for the riffage and ferocity. But I mean, any of the melodic death metal greats you can think of. So Soilwork and Hypocrisy are huge. The Absence, actually, probably more so than Black Dahlia, would probably be The Absence. I don't know. They always tickled me right. But I kind of go all over the shop, really, especially in metal, because I kind of went down the metal elitist rabbit hole when I was 17. So I got into like a lot of the weird black metal stuff. I obviously worship Dissection. A lot of people have been talking about the Dissection influence, and I'm like, did I really listen to Dissection when I was writing these songs? I don't remember, but going back, I'm like, yeah, I hear Ryan Chaos in here. Okay, that was in there somewhere. Stuff like that. I mean, I'll go through Carcass, stuff like them. I listen to a lot of video game soundtracks to kind of get my brain into outside of just like guitars and bass and drums kind of territory to kind of clear the cleanse of palate and get a different perspective. I love Depeche Mode. That's definitely a big inspiration when it comes to like elegance in songwriting, because it's not so much that they have super complicated, detailed, long songs. It's the art of less. And I feel that, especially in metal, like everyone's trying so hard to be like, I'm technical, I'm fancy, I'm complicated. And I'm just like, I just want to have a good song with some good riffs. Like you can have both. So I'll catch myself trying to be too fancy and too complicated, and I'll just go back to simpler bands like Depeche Mode or some of the more like Daft Punk even stuff. And it's like just easy, simple. But yeah, I mean the big ones are definitely those mellow death bands and electronic bands. And DDT is a Russian band I've listened to since I was younger, and that's like a masterclass in songwriting to me, anyways. Both like lyrically and composition wise and arrangement. It's just that's definitely a big one. I don't mention them enough, I don't think, but for me personally, that's a huge one.
Nikita, I know you've listened to them, but I went back to the first Son of Aurelius album again recently. I love that album so much. It's just like tech death, like glory. I don't know. The melodies are really good. Except I like sit down to the kit and I'm like, I'm going to try to play along to this. And then like the song starts. I'm like, nah.
The last Sons of Aurelius came out of nowhere and kind of came in.
Yeah.
But it was
good too. Yeah. I was like, I mean, I feel like I generally preferred the first one because I liked the screams, the harsh vocals, but the second one has a lot of really good tracks on it too.
Oh god, it's just riffs on riffs.
Yeah.
Can't say as I've ever heard of Son of Aurelius. I'll have to take a listen to it. What are some of your guilty pleasures?
I have none. I unapologetically listen to whatever I want. I love Cupcake.
Yeah.
I love Cupcake. She is hilarious. She is incredibly talented. I was on a big WAP kick when that was around.
Dude, he was out of control with it.
It was
like,
a bit much.
That's an
It was a bit
understatement.
much.
Wings and pizza?
Yeah.
All of them. Wings and Pizza, Wet and Gushy, all of it.
Yeah.
I really like. If it's good and I dig it, I'll listen to it. And
Yeah.
no shame.
Yeah.
I think that's the way you got to look at it, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, there's definitely a few. I went to a few years ago, I actually went to see Baby Metal at the House of Blues, and that was easily the most packed I've ever seen the House of Blues. The show was like ridiculous. They had like you had to wait in line going out the door down the street for people to get in. I did not think there were going to be that many people here for Baby Metal.
Now, was this in Boston?
Yeah, House of Blues in Boston. And I went to see Snarky Puppy. There was like a week that I had a few days off, and I think Snarky Puppy and Baby Metal might have been back to back. And Snarky Puppy is a Grammy winning band. I mean, for what that's worth, but they're a fantastic band and stuff. And they had like a decent amount of people there. But then when me and my friend went and saw Baby Metal the next day, and like, yeah, I can't stress this enough. There was literally, I mean, we go to a lot of shows at the House of Blues in Boston. And there's usually a pretty good number, but this was like the whole street was packed. It's like, I don't know if you know the bridge right by the House of Blues, but you were going across the bridge down the street over there. Finding parking was like a nightmare. It's Boston, so that's a given. But
I know Fenway pretty well. Oh
Yeah.
wait, no, we're talking House of Blues. We're not talking about.
No, you're right. It's right by. Fenway.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
as guilty pleasure, though, I can't. I have zero guilt in whatever. The only time I'd be guilty is if it's like, I'll admit there's some NSBM bands I used to listen to when I was in edgy high school, and I didn't care too much about the content that I still remember enjoying, but I haven't listened to them in years.
My one of my biggest guilty pleasures is John Mayer.
Dude, he
Is a great guitar
phenomenal
player.
He's a
That is
solid-
that's just a pleasure. That's not a guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just a
it is like
pleasure.
insane how good he is.
Yeah.
I started listening to John Mayer like in public, basically. Like it used to be one of those things where like it was just in my bedroom or just in my car, and then I brought it out and I was like, I was coming out of the closet listening to John Mayer around my friends and whatnot. They're like, dude, what the fuck are you doing listening to John Mayer? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. He's probably in my top 5 favorite guitarists.
Nothing wrong.
He's just
That
one
is
of the
not a hot take at all. That is.
No, he's one of like the best guitarists in the world right now. I like straight up. It is like how simple the stuff he writes at times seems, and then you actually watch him play, and you're like, how the fuck are you actually doing this? Like, it is just ridiculous what he's capable of.
Even just seeing like following him on like Instagram and stuff like that, and just seeing the little clips he puts up here. I mean, I saw one where he was like trading fours, the ideas that you're trading fours with him, and some of the stuff he's playing is just like beautiful, beautiful melodies. No, he's a fantastic player.
Oh yeah,
Douche though. Let's see.
Huh.
I
mean,
was playing, but
He's from Connecticut,
yeah, Fairfield.
Bridgeport.
Oh,
Who?
And then he went to Berkeley, which I mean,
match.
yep.
Jeff, what is your guilty pleasure?
Again, like I don't really have a guilty. At least at this point, I don't have guilty pleasures. Like way back,
I just listen to whatever the fuck I want to.
basically like I really like Billie Eilish. Like it's actually I think like the one non-metal thing I have on my phone right now. Oh no, it's one of the few non-metal. Actually, the Pretty Reckless. It's just their album they just released a few months back. Like it just really clicked with me. Fucking great. Like it's kind of what you kind of figure standard rock, but it's just really clicked for me. I've been loving that album. I used to be big into Kesha when I was younger. I
still
anymore
listen
with
to
that
Kesha.
shit. I can't do that anymore. I haven't listened to her in years, but it's like Billie Eilish, going back, like fucking Blink 182 with Enema of the State is still like just one of my favorite albums. It's just, it's simple pop punk, but it's just so good. It's just, again, it comes to that thing of like, I'm not going to feel guilty when I listen to it. Like, I like it. I enjoy it. That's what music's there to be, for it to be enjoyed,
Right.
So I'm not going to feel guilty about enjoying something I like,
I feel like the older you get, the less fucks you give.
Basically, yes.
So guys, I'm going to actually end the show by playing Seeking My Own Son. Why don't you guys give a plug to where you can find your music, where they can follow you, where people can follow you on social media?
Sure. Well, we are Sunseeker, SVN period SEEKER. The V and the period are on there so we don't get sued. I put too much time and effort, and we put all too much time and effort and money into recording and logos and everything else in art. I'm not getting that changed. That is money that is not being used again. We're on just about every the major 3 socials. Instagram, Facebook, even though nobody sees stuff on Facebook. I'm very active on Twitter, and I'll put up just some random stuff that seems to get people seem to agree with and enjoy. So if you want to like interact with me directly and it's not through my Twitter and you want to talk to the band page for some reason, you can do that. It's usually either Sunseeker with an underscore or a period. We're all over the shop, Bandcamp, Deezer, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify. Just about everywhere, really. We got, music in the works, definitely slowly but surely getting some stuff going. We got some shows hopefully in the works soon. We may or may not have physical wearable merchandise within the next week or so, which will be pretty sweet. So that means we'll be a real band.
Can find you on Bandcamp.
Oh, yeah, definitely can find us on Bandcamp.
Support the band, buy the music on Bandcamp.
Yep, please. We still have CDs. I think we have like less than 40 CDs left, which is pretty nice. So yeah, give us a listen if you like Melodeath with riffs and you like to hear a guy want to try to be James Malone really hard that it hurts. Give it up. You guys want to
heart from a little guy.
Pat, Jeff, did I miss anything?
No, I think you got it. Yeah, you got it. I think you got it pretty well covered there. So
don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All the good stuff.
Like, comment, and subscribe to their stuff. Then like, comment, and subscribe to my stuff.
Definitely.
All right, everybody, we're going to listen to Seeking My Own Son.
Enjoy.